Alright, picking up with more Ratchet Clank 2. Making some good progress in this game. Did a bunch of farming last episode. Got a billion bolts. Still don't have anywhere near enough to buy things, but that's how the game is set up. Let's see where all we can explore that still has stuff to do. I don't remember if I actually had a task on Boldan or not. I don't know if I can quickly review my tasks. View missions. Explore Silver City. I think I can get there. Let's see if I can find areas I haven't visited. What's the little, like, red icon there? What does that mean? Am I talking about that? Super fast dash ability? I'll try taking this guy, see if this gets me towards Silver City. I've already basically finished the desert, so I probably am not going back there. There's only like 10 crystals left, and I don't want to search for all of them. This is just where I got into the boss fight earlier, right? Well, it looked like it was going to be a boss fight, but it was a cutscene. I got sent into the jail. Oh, that's not a good start. No jumping on that wall, apparently. Oh, it's not even 4 crystals? Okay. Yeah, I think the thing to make it faster was the dash abilities. You can dash through the whole zone, right? Well, that was unexpected. I guess I'm not supposed to send a spider bot there. Oh, they're not triggering, I understand. How do I get to Silver City then? That's something I should have access to already. Yes, whenever we do Resident Evil streams, I can't mute Discord sounds without also muting Matt, so it's remuted. Fairway Junction at the beginning. Okay, I guess I'll come and get the Platinum Bolt real quick since I'm already ahead of this one. Platinum Bolts still buy interesting things in this one. The Gold Bolts in the first one. That's too far for me to carry. I'm gonna head back. Stock real fast. I didn't do all the crystals, it's too frustrating to cover the entire desert. I got like 90% of them. Silver City. Somewhere up this way. Hey, thanks, Bruce. What's Clank's objective? There's a robot backpack man. Up elevator or somewhere. Okay. I never get the health pick up here, but it just doesn't seem worth it. Uh-oh. Camera shit the bed. There we go. I don't trust this at all. It must be completely on rails. Like, I must not have any control over it. Yeah, okay. Sonic the Hedgehog style. Oh, they can shock you before you get to the wire. Trying to delay so I wouldn't bump into the thing. This is a cool Tony Hawk level. The Tony Hawk games had already come out around the time of Ratchet Clank. Are you kidding me? Apparently you just jumped normally off that very last one. I think around Spyro 3 was when the first Tony Hawk came out, right? Which is why there was all the skateboarding levels in that one. Because I always assume that. I've never played Slug Cooper, but I've seen the box art. Okay. That time it didn't make me. I'm not gonna think about it. It's fine. Activate vendor. Platinum bolts. Let's see. Heavy launcher, meteor gun, spider bot. Covers your enemies in boiling acid. The spider bot's probably gonna kill them most of the time. Lock-on mod for mini rocket tube. Press and hold both L2 and R2. Throw dots on stuff. Lock on for this gun would be really nice, especially for like the arena. We're not going to be using this to level stuff up faster, I don't think. It's the cheapest stuff. Lock on mod. It's fine. My boss killer. I guess if it dies from the acid, it still gives you XP for the gun that triggered it. I coated them in the acid. Try to lock on first.
This weapon has a lock-on mod. Hold both L2 and R2 to lock on to enemies.
Qwark location. Oh, is this just a vendor? Something else to explore here? I'm excited to play some more of those platformer games from this era. I completely missed basically every non-Nintendo platformer from 2000 to 2015. Eat the thug freight. Here's the thing that we almost finished last time. We got blown up at the last second. Go to the ship shack. I don't think I have that much stuff. I played Prince of Persia: Sands of Time back when it came out, so I remember the basic premise of the game, but none of the... It would be effectively blind for me. If you go to tasks.marstead.com, there's a wishlist tab that I put on there. It's effective for 2015 when I started streaming, so any game released since 2015 you could assume I'm blind for or haven't touched anything. And there's stuff on there that we've already beaten that I haven't gone back and marked done. But it should list whether I've actually touched games before. 20 rare titanium. Right, I wasted a bunch on the wings because they're cosmetic. So I'd have to go and farm for titanium either on the desert or from a ship mission to see if I can do it.
Kitties! Hey! Hey! Stop it.
If I get rare titanium in the middle of a ship mission and then die, do I keep it? Dream invisible wall. Yeah, it's a cool concept. I don't fault them for trying something cool. They're like really wide open, and there's so many things you can crash into. Take a really long time to do. The penalty for making a mistake is extremely high. Like, I could fly through that, but why would I? Where if I touch a wall, it's game over, you know? Nope, we got a couple of RuneScape players in the Discord in Moonshine. There's a OSRS channel. A bunch of the people that are into it.
Ship upgrades are available at Slim Cognito's ship shack. Select its location on your galactic map.
This stage is particularly frustrating because there's like no pickups. Other than for killing the big ships and little ships. It's not like just destructibles around the map that you can go off to get some free pickups. Hopefully the rare titanium I'm getting is staying when I die. Come on. Shot you like a billion times. Just sank it, okay. G-Workers. Full shield, nice. What the hell? Don't know what caused that. Killed by the lightning? Let's see if I kept the rare titanium or not. So it's like, you can't fly too high, basically. It's like an area that you fly to. It looks like I do keep it from that stage, so at least I can come and get stuff. Probably need the shielding system. These extra guns might, or extra weapons might help a little bit. Seven times a charm. Oh, is there anything that just upgrades your main guns? That would be nice. Launch those, okay, good to know. Thought I would leave them behind me. Should have beaten this last episode. I was shooting the last ship and I just like clipped one of these floating city things right at the very end. It was a bummer. Hey, missile ammo, that's nice. Back up a bunch here. That's the kind of way I died last time. Just trying to get away so I can swoop back in. one more. Edges of the stage, maybe? Don't fly too high so you'll get zapped instantly. We don't want to be dogfighting out here. Down here? Oh god. Thought I was gonna die from that. Just fine last time. We're nervous about flying too high up in the air and getting zapped by the lightning. There it is. Oh my god. It's the exact same way I died the first time when we were almost done. So I get to keep all that Pertanium I picked up. I think it makes it so I don't get shot. It's like a dodge. I don't see my shield going down if I hold down barrel roll, but I do if I let off of it. Are there not actual iframes during it? So lucky to get another 10 missile pickup again. I didn't realize it affected fire rate at all. I guess if I'm out in the open, I may as well spam it, but... Alright, one ship down. slow down effects. Oh, it's not dead yet. Now it's dead. Mostly dead. He's slightly alive. Take on bets on whether it happens again here, we'll see. Out of everything, right? Yeah, one more. First try. Jesus. Good riddance.
Well, it looks like the thugs moved Angela out of this quadrant.
I wonder
See
if you
can pick up
die
any
in that
transmissions
short,
on the
like,
deep space
interstitial
scanners.
sequence before the cutscene if you start over.
What is your problem? I'm trying to make a living here, and you two losers keep lousing it up. Ratchet and Clank, isn't it? Look, if you two don't hightail it back to your own galaxy, I'm gonna blast you into so many pieces you'll need a... well, there's gonna be a lot of them. I can tell you that. So you two hit the road, and don't bother trying to find me, because I've got wind. I mean, I'm like the wind. You never know where I might show up next. And I blow hard, and I can be cooling on a warm summer day. Well, you get the idea. Goodbye, morons!
Does he realize he has just transmitted his exact location?
If not, he's about to find out.
Nope. Rescue Angel. Hey, sir, how you doing? Oh, you're in Finland. Nice. Oh, that's awesome, sir. Magical. Well, that's one way to go. Oh wow, a lot of destructibles are in here. There's some kind of like mechanic with the swing shot where it tries to see if like Ratchet is looking in the general direction of one and then it tries to hook onto it. It generally feels pretty good. Like it doesn't really make you work for it most of the time. I think it's one of the only times I've fallen mid swing shot. Oops. Ocean Gem. That's awesome. That's really cool to hear, sir. Are you just doing a tour of the area? Got some time off? Yeah, that's crazy. I'm kind of blown away by it. Right. Now that I know that they're willing to be tour guides, Andrew and I are going to have to go Finland. Oh god. Dead. Okie doke. You got like second place in the Mahjong tournament, right? Still need to play that at some point. I think which like classic games I've never played before. Pretty high on the list as far as important ones go. Oh, that's really cool. Woof. I was saving for other stuff, but the armor upgrades are so nice. You're just immune to the noob tube, Ratchet. Yeah, I don't have an amazing intuition for the geography of Europe, but it's like comparable size to the United States, and the distance between any two countries is like the distance between any two states, right? If you'll assist me with my American ignorance. Obviously, there's probably a comparable amount of variance to, like, I remember when Andrew and I were living in California, we were in San Francisco, and Kat and Donovan came to visit, and Kat's sister was living in San Diego at the time. They're like, why didn't you go visit your sister? Because that's like a 7 to 8 hour drive. California is a really big state. See if I can spider bot it now. Los Alamos in Chicago. Oh, thanks, sir. You did it. Appreciate you doing that research. Okay. So that's pretty far, but it's like a flight with maybe one connection. Oh, I was holding L2 and R2. Was it not locking on, or was there some other input I had to do? Yeah, there's a lot of empty space in the US. So here, that's the big thing that's shocking to people who visit here. It just hasn't been aggressively settled, I won't say settled, for as long. Probably similar to my trip to Columbus to see my sister for Thanksgiving. That's wonderful, Kaimon. He did. Fills my heart with joy. Now I know that you guys are willing to be tour guides. Next time Andrea has some conference in Europe, we'll try to hit you up. Okay, so like you have to have the circle already up and then you can press L and R to get the lockout effect. You see. It's not just hold L and R. Andrew really likes Selmy. Oh god. What tastes like iron? Jeez. It's like Captain Crunch. Right. Captain Crunch to do something similar to you. Okay, so certain enemies don't allow lockout. I guess that was probably part of my confusion earlier. This guy, I'm pressing L2 and R2, it's not doing anything. But it is locking on, so I don't know. I've never had, like, exotic meats. I think probably the most is gator. But it just tastes like chicken. Basically eating white meat. Rudolph died, so you can eat. What's the deal with reindeer population in Finland? Is it something that needs to be controlled? Like, there's lots of parts of the U.S. where like hunting is actually kind of a good thing. Otherwise, it is bad for the deer. Overpopulation problem. I think Andrea mentioned that like a sauna for me is like my own personal hell. I can't imagine any flaw. Maybe if I thought really hard, I could come up with something that would be more anxiety-inducing. Let's see. Do they make the opposite of a sauna, like a room that you go in fully clothed and it just like is a desiccant, it just dries you out, like going into a giant silica gel packet? That would be awesome. Thanks, Leon. Turn the game down a bit. Aww. The audio balance on certain things isn't great. So do the turrets do the chain lightning automatically, or is it something I have to turn on? The button I have to press when I deploy them. Oh, I see. It's adding a little zappy damage on them now. Gotcha. That didn't work. It's an anti-spider bot laser. Yep. That it is. really want his level up on the spider bot. I'm super close to it. Isn't well, no, Team Cherry is an Australian dev, right? Is Baba Aziz's dev is Finnish? Johan murdered you in games. Nice. Nice. I did like the robot fight last time.
Nothing, I guess. Prepare to die!
Just a regular boss fight. Okay.
Try to die dead! You want something funny? I'll give you something to laugh about.
Classic, slow-moving rail shooter missiles. Okay, I needed a health pickup anyway.
Squash you like the insect you are. I'd fight you with my bare hands, but it's a lot easier this way.
Okay, so Reticle's not a perfect guy. It's like I need to watch the arc of the shots, I guess? Oh, because it takes a while for the shots to travel. That's my problem. I feel like being on this thing is more hassle than it's worth. Spend more time blowing these up than I can on fighting him, right? Can I fight him with other weapons other than the turrets? No, sir. Kai Mom sent some handwritten messages with the gifts that she sent here, and it was my heart was so touched. Saint does not begin to describe it. Some translation text. She also has incredible handwriting. Oh, if I said Kaihan, I meant Kai Mom, yeah. Does he just not take damage from this gun at all? That's not good. It's always worrisome when you remember all the boss's lines, right? Oh, will you guys not shoot him with that? That sucks. Alright, I can't shoot that while moving. I don't think that's doing any damage either. Yeah, there's no reason for him to have this much health. It's puzzling. I don't think that's hurting him either. Pretty much just have this thing left, so I go find some ammo somewhere. That also doesn't do anything. Oh wait, maybe it didn't. Oh, they're so slow though.
You want something funny? I'll give you something to laugh about.
Is that a you need to run away attack, I guess?
I'm coming to get you, Ratchet. Here I come.
Oh, wait, go for it.
Give up now, Ratchet. I'll spare you a painful death.
It's like you don't even have any time to shoot him on the turret because you have to spend the whole time stopping these things.
It's like hide and go seek. You hide, my missiles sink.
There's this giant like combat arena. I don't think there's any pickups though. I'm probably gonna die and have to try again.
Why won't you stay still?
I'm staying still. Oh, there's a health pickup. That's good. In one section of the city, there's some pickups. And I use too many of my weapons. I guess if I die, I can try to make sure I get the, it looks like the meteor gun was actually my best damage against him.
3, 5, 4, 5. I'm gonna crush you like a little bug.
Yeah. Give him all this HP, so you have to use the turrets. And then you're on them for a really long time, and dying has gotta suck really bad. I think it wouldn't be so bad if he didn't have this particular attack, or if he only shot like 2 missiles every time, or if he had a long cooldown in between each time he fires them. Because you can't spend the whole time DPSing him, because if he's hit you, they hit you really hard. I think he already starts launching another salvo after you hit the last one in the previous salvo. Try noob tubing him here real quick.
5, 4, 5. I'm gonna crush you like a little bug.
I know, right?
Try to dodge this!
Okay. Thought I got some healing there. I am sitting still. I'm in a turret. That's the core mechanic of the fight. There's nothing more stationary. First try.
You okay, Clank? Great. Let's go.
Hello? Aren't you forgetting someone?
Oops. Oh, I meant after we free Angela.
Thanks. Now, before you run off, take a look at this. I picked it out of Lizard Boy's pocket.
Log entry 4792. Returning from Megacorp's distribution center. I'm beginning to suspect that Megacorp has lied to me.
I like that the basic unit of progress to the game is also the basic unit of comedy.
Which might explain why the whole facility is guarded by ravenous mutant creatures. Their warehouse ship may hold as many as 10 million crates, and with 100 protopets per crate, that could be as many as,
That sounds really bad.
to 3.5 zillion protopets. A secret shipment that large can only mean one thing. Megacorp is up to no good. I will confront them as soon as possible and demand a bigger cut of the action.
Are they insane?
The galaxy is in far more danger than I had imagined. Do you suppose, Mr.
We've
Fizzwidget...
wasted enough time on Fizzwidget already. I swear that crazy old man is not the same person I used to work for.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You used to work for Megacorp?
Nani?
Yes, in the genetics division.
On the Protopet?
On fixing the Protopet's flaws. And I was this close to succeeding when Fizzwidget suddenly pushed up their release date.
Is it worth disrupting the Protopet shipments?
It's a start. But to stop them for good,
She is
we're
Lil
gonna
from
need to break
Rugrats,
into
right?
Megacorp headquarters.
Break in?
The little girl from
I have an old Megacorp ID on my home planet.
Lost
We'll
Odyssey.
split up then. Clank and I will go to the distribution facility. You go grab the ID.
Distribution facility Smolg.
See if you can find any more news on the Protopets.
And now, Behind the Hero brings you the conclusion of our series on Captain Qwark. As of this airing, the fugitive superhero has been missing for almost 6 weeks. Did he die heroically? Was he the victim of an overzealous fan? Or is he still out there somewhere? The galaxy may never know, but stay tuned for more baseless speculation and crackpot theories on Behind the Hero.
Well, no more Qwark.
Good. It is almost time for RoboChef.
Stay tuned for more baseless speculation. So does the rate at which you're getting bolts like increase quite a bit in the later levels? It seems like you start getting more springs than bolts about halfway through the game. Turn in the action figure. Can I do that after this stage? Enemy density goes up. Density is such an interesting concept in game design. Like, it is by far the most important thing, or one of the most important things in an action RPG like Diablo or Path of Exile. That was almost very bad. I just mean, is it any time pressure to do it now before finishing this level? Hey Jahan, here you've got a guest. And that you're very good at board games. Okay, I'll go to it after finishing this level then. I just don't want to trigger 2 back-to-back ship cutscenes if I don't have to. So, presumably it wants me to go to that island it's facing, but I've learned to distrust the apparent conveyance or the levitator in this game. Got tapping to float anxiety from playing Retro's subblock game at Megacorp. That's not a thing that I'm supposed to land on. Okay. Probably can't make it back to the platform in time. Nope. Nice of them to make that a continue point. This level reminds me of Metroid Prime 3. Cloud cities are always fun. Deal's getting worse all the time. It's interesting that they made lock-on something that you unlock for individual weapons. Did they eventually just make it so you always have lock-on? I'd like to lock on with a different weapon, get their health down, and then switch to the noob tube to get XP for it. Oh, you pumping votes in Horizon Zero Dawn? Come on, you're gonna make Andrea so happy. I don't know if you heard what I was talking about yesterday, that one of her coworkers told her she should play it. And, I had been trying to tell her that she should play it for 2 years now. But she mentions me hey, have you heard of a game called Horizon Zero Dawn? I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, she just actually dumped all of her SP into it, so it's pretty close to a bonus stream now, after her coworker mentioned it. It's super good. So I think the rule on this level is just go straight with the levitator. You should get there eventually. The basic lock-on. I guess I can see homing as an upgrade that you have to pay for, but being able to lock your camera on something like Zelda and then see its health is pretty valuable. Actually, just being able to see enemies' health at all is a pretty huge quality of life improvement. Band-Aid for confused testers. Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Since the levitator has issues. Alright, now I can use the spider bot anymore. I'm curious what it does now. So the robot's less fragile now, I guess. Has a gun? Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Man, that would have made it more fun to level. Yeah, having them lose armor or something, that's fine. Just some kind of visual feedback lets me know how close something is to dying. It feels coolest in this game when you know, okay, that enemy dies in 2 noob tube shots, so I'm gonna try to time them just right. Jump along the crates type thing? Let's see. Yeah, the high jump wasn't high enough. Whoops. Nope. Doesn't quite make it. The other one's just boxes. I probably don't need to worry about it. I think I just got it. That's cool. Okay. So I guess this was the dead end. Taking this somewhere else, I guess? Try to fly around and see where it wants me to go. That's where I just came from. Maybe it's on the very top of the stack of boxes. There's another one up there or something. Yeah, those are... Oh, there's something on the other side of the containers. Okay. That looked like that was just a wall. Do they keep this AoE destructible attack thing in the later games? It's very convenient. It makes the whole existence of the destructibles way less stressful.
Go ahead. You'd be doing me a favor. Sure.
Oh, sorry. It's just, I thought you were one of...
I'm just a murderer.
Oh, dear, dear. What I'd give for even an ounce of their feral ignorance.
A burden often accompanies self-awareness, sir.
Living with
Yeah,
the
that's
abject
right.
savagery of one's own kith and kin is quite more than one can bear sometimes. No, the torment of it all.
I love this
I
guy. This is my new favorite NPC in the series.
I'm of a series designed to destroy.
Oh, in that case, I have something that may interest you. But may I first humbly request a meager few bolts for food? Lovely long time since I've eaten.
This is Darla Gratch reporting live from Algon City, where Proto Protopet mania is in full swing. For those who've spent the past week in hypersleep, the Protopet is Megacorp's wildly popular bioengineered pet. Adorable, non-allergenic, and housebroken, fans of the creature have dubbed it the perfect companion. Between the Protopet's surprisingly low price tag and its lightning-fast breeding cycle, there may soon be more than enough Protopets for everyone. Darla Gratch, Channel 64 News.
The entire population of that planet will be devoured.
Unless we get there in time.
Every other time you annihilated him, just from the strength of your raw talent, Yahan. Alright, let's see. Force field technology at its best. Protects you and damages opponents. That seems potentially good. Does that thing level up as well? I was trying to save up for an expensive thing, but I keep running into stuff that makes me spend my resources. Plasma coil, I think. It's annoying to level. Let me see. Alright, search the distribution facility is not done. Let me do that. Let's see if I can figure out where it is. What game did you guys play? Still looking for new board games. Really been enjoying that Gloomhaven game. Playing it with Sailor Dan. If you get a chance to try it out, I recommend it highly. Oh, it's in this direction? Wingspan? I did, but I was looking at the map and it looked like I needed to go that way to get to the gray area. Oh, this looks new. It's interesting because, trying to use the map to figure out where you have and haven't been, the way the levels are laid out, there's often a jump pad or a teleporter or a taxi or something that takes you where you actually need to go. So you can know where you haven't been, but not necessarily the direction you have to go to get to it. It's a pretty elaborate bot. Austrian android heads out to Finland. I think that's a solvable problem. I think you can always put the transportation somewhat a little bit out of the way to make sure that it's always gray, so the player knows that they haven't seen it yet. Or even have a mini-map icon for transportation things. That would be unreasonable. It's okay, Music, you can come back. What's the elevator pitch for Wingspan? much. So it won't be until like a cutscene plays that it comes back. It's weird. I didn't notice that Ratchet doesn't have any walking sound. It's probably good. Oh really? You might have to completely change levels. Yeah, right. We just need to get some like Gregorian chanting now as we walk into an arena. Was not expecting. From the name Wingspan, I thought it was going to be something to do with like planes or something. As you observe more birds, the AI capabilities of the 4 actions you take to get birds. That's pretty cool. I wonder if I can make that or not. Whee! Shock. There it is. Alright, now I need to buy a new gun. Alright. Actually, I think I finished the sheep gun, right? Yeah. Yep, need to get a new one. Every shot I'm firing now is paining me so much. I thought it was going to take me longer to finish these guns. So much XP waste. It's like the worst thing you can do. Oh, that's cute. Just the 2. If it gave you extra health XP, if you were using a gun that was maxed out, that would actually be a really good solution. Even if it wasn't health XP, if they like added a kind of universal XP that you only gained when firing with a maxed out gun, you didn't feel like you were like completely wasting your time. A bird card. Get food, get eggs, draw cards. Sounds really cool.
Incoming! Get down! What the?
Hello,
Ratchet and Clank.
you lucky devils.
Angela Cross.
Has just sent you a galactic greeting.
Guys, if you get this message, please meet me on my home world. Just so you know, I found my old ID badge. I'm pretty sure we can still use it to infiltrate Megacorp HQ, but you're gonna have to hurry. Before the Protopets completely overrun us! Oh, and sorry for the balloonogram. It was the only thing I could get off this
We hope you enjoyed your galactic greeting.
That Angela is quite resourceful.
Yeah, she thinks of everything, doesn't she?
She also appears to be in great danger.
Oh, Ratchet. Tunnel wastes. What was the planet with the, to turn in the action figure again? Let's drop the spiders. Ow. Dick. Todano. Thanks. Oh, that is pretty good. A little shrapnel bomb, basically. Looks like it tries to home in on enemies. It's okay, frame rate. You can do it. It's a lot of bouncy boys, I know. Down, left, down, right. Down. Down, left, down, right, down. I think the XP rates for it's pretty good too. Yeah, that puzzle is more of a memory puzzle, because, like, you don't know how circuitous the route is. Maybe you might benefit from remembering the origin point for, like, the last move or two. Maybe the very last move. Yes, yes. hell is this thing?
You found a Hypnomatic part. You need all of the parts to make the Hypnomatic gadget.
I see. It's the Dragoon from Smash Brothers. Money, please. Todano. And it doesn't have a task, right? Okay, thanks. Where do I turn it in? Do you know? I think down this way. I don't actually remember where I got the Sheepinator. Through here? Oh, there are sheep in here, so probably. Got it. Here, maybe? That's fun. That's fun. Find to open the door so you can get in here. Okay. I like the use of the platinum bolts in this one better than the gold bolts in the first game. It seems like there are more upgrades. You don't need quite so many of them. If you find just a few, it feels rewarding. Okay, I'll keep looking, no worries. So slow. Shut this laser thing off. Maybe it's this room. You know what I'm saying? It's a very good iteration compared to what was in Ratchet 1. It's cool, I'm getting bouncer XP and bolts and stuff. Further out. Yeah, no worries.
Captain Qwark, completing quality control on Super Electro Gadget. Hammer of power detecting no defects. Ratchet averted. I knew this day would come. Draw your last enemy mine, for I smite you in the name of Captain Qwark! Sweet death. At last we meet. Nobly, I fall on the field of battle. Finish me, Lombax!
Come on, Clank. Let's get going.
Wait! You shamed the greatest superhero who ever lived! You owe me something.
What do you want from us, sir?
Ooh! How about some cool Qwark stuff from your galaxy? Trade you for this armor magnetizer.
I believe that device is designed to attract bolts.
Oh, that sounds great.
Cool. Mwah. I'm taking the captain home before the humidity gets to him.
The armor magnetizer is now active. Bolt pickup range is increased.
Hooray! Yeah, thanks for pointing me to that. It was in a sewer, yeah. I love that, like, in sci-fi, We still have all these settings where, like, we're okay with going to different galaxies. Like, one galaxy isn't enough. This is a pretty cool setting, though. Where's my ship? I started here. Oh, so I use a teleporter, that's right. He saved his whole galaxy. Yes. I do really like that about Mass Effect, that it's like, yeah, we've got this big society and we've still explored like less than 1/10 of 1% of the Milky Way. These galaxies are fucking huge. I forget, isn't most of Star Trek in the Milky Way as well? I don't remember. This is fun. I love your dangerous toys. I used to have that Ninja Turtles pizza van that put people's eyes out. Recall. Yeah, timelines and realities are like quicker to the draw with Trek than going to Andromeda or something. It was kind of a... Man, I'm bummed that Mass Effect Andromeda was bad, because the cell was a neat one. If you assume the bad ending of Mass Effect 3 is canon, then I would totally be fine with that as, like, the story. Shit gets wrecked by a cosmic horror that we can't understand. Let's go to a different galaxy and see if things are better there. I only ended up playing like 8 hours of it, but had issues at the beginning. Big problem is just that Drew Karpyshyn got pulled off of his baby project after EA bought them. I don't know. I'll have to check. Not too many products that survive their creator being ripped off of them. Usually these guys give a ton of XP as well. And now I see the chain lightning effects. Gotcha. Checkpoint here would be great. Aim. Wow, it's punishing. So I can buy a new weapon. This one's about to max. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Huh. I guess you need to have some height when you grapple onto it. Jump right over his corpse. I'm acting like Kazooie. Okay, I don't know why that one swing shot thing is giving me so much trouble. Oh, I didn't realize that you could get the swing shot interrupted, so if you get hit it cancels the gadget, basically. Gotcha. Just trying to finish leveling up the bouncer, take advantage of him respawning him. Super close. I do have a new gun, I just bought it. I want to be able to switch to it. Oh, weird. So, how do they work? They stack with a different gun? Do they have ammo? Are they, do they level up? Do they have ammo that I have to worry about? I can just keep them out all the time now, I guess. They need the kills to gain XP. So are there like other equipable gadgets that like compete for that slot, so to speak? Shield charger. But you can't have both the robots and the shield charger up at the same time, basically. Oh, you can. Hey, Kennedy Point. Binary serials. It's a robot planet. So I can't see their ammo. It's not like just on the HUD, right? Okay, well I need a real gun. And we're out. It's a button involved puzzle here, that's cool. Try it out. So they consume ammo while they're out, or only with each shot they fire? Oh, every time you summon them. So they last like a preset number of seconds? I see. That makes more sense. Does Naughty Dog return the favor for that kind of thing? Ow, rude. I'm supposed to do this. They don't want to shoot this guy? Yeah. Health ring, I love you. Sort of just switching to it brings them out. Try the spider bot, I guess. It would be cool if that actually gave you XP. That's why the robots don't shoot him, I guess. No, I'm out of synthoids. This makes it bigger, that's great. Spawns a million death catamaries. Oh shit, there's a door closed behind me. Great. Kaboom! Oh, I haven't had to use this gadget in a long time. Almost forgot it was a thing.
You're getting sleepy. Very sleepy.
You are getting very sleepy.
Ah, a customer. You, sir, look like someone who could use a Hypnomatic.
Okay.
Just bring us the parts, and we'll make it for free.
Ah, for a fee.
The turtle guy?
Very small fee.
Spyro has a lot of like the just okay, there's a turtle guy with a sock puppet. Just roll with it. It's fine. That's what is going on in this world. Okay, so I think there's a couple other paths here. It's kind of a cool set piece, jumping on the trains. I think they've generally got the set pieces down in these games. So they're just feeling like every rail is identical. Okay, I can't attack. I'm like, Okay. That works. There's a gap there. Wow. But like the arc you come at it, it's difficult to see unless you know it's already know that it's there. All right. Do they usually do like announcements and stuff at the Video Game Awards? I didn't actually know that. First try. Past that jump ending. This is pretty great. So very cool set pieces. Doesn't seem like the best way to get transportation about the city. And then the cars fall into a sea of lightning. Shit. All the way back to the beginning, right? Woof. Decent parts of it are sight readable. There's that weird gap that's like on an incline. Oh, I didn't realize the Joker got announced at the Game Awards, right on. Those are the awards that Konami barred Kojima from going to by contract. He got his award for Metal Gear Solid 5. Jeez. The presenter guy was super salty about it. Yeah, that particular jump is set up for like Ratchet to obscure it. Wonder how many folks make that jump blind. Okay, good. Nice.
Sorry.
You found a Hypnomatic part. You need all of the parts to make the Hypnomatic gadget.
Oh, is there some other game where a character does a dance when they get an award or something? Oh, it is a Jack and Daxter thing, I see. Cute. Explore the moon. That path is different, maybe? Still can't afford a new gun. Very excited for buy max out ammo. That's fun. Just like, I'm just gonna go fly. This one's quite a bit harder than the last one. See if there's still a million health pickups all over the place. Not as much. If there's a finite number of the little ads, or if I have to deal with them the whole time. They still do have a ton of health, the boss does, it looks like. Oh, there's no Ratchet on the back, that's cool. Bomb's not quite as OP, unfortunately. Seems to be the way to do it. Looks like the missiles heavily favor the ads if there are ads available. There are infinite ads that can spawn. I have to kill the ads to get her to land, right? Okay, the health's not that bad if you can land some bomb shots, but you have limited time to do so. I think they probably should have given you an actual stomp button, because it's not clear that those can hurt, that landing can hurt them until you see them flash the first time, right? You gotta have the perfect timing in landing so you can throw bombs right as she respawns stuff. Jumping is way faster. That's an attack. Okay, I don't think I'm damaging it anymore, right? Nice. Out of bombs. Don't stand in that goop. I see. Don't knock me into your goop. How dare you? You gotta be facing just the right way, it looks like. Doesn't really do much damage though. Also, it keeps wanting to attach her hats, whereas the bomb will always go for her. Get my resources back here before we go for the fight again. Hooray! Glad they got some more use out of that Mario Galaxy thing. Psychonauts Mario Galaxy thing.
The mapper reveals secret areas on your world map.
Oh, that's cool.
The secret areas are marked as green.
Definitely predates Mario Galaxy. Not sure about Psychonauts. We get one more Hypnomatic piece. Sure, there are new worlds to visit. Okay, we're good. Find Angela. Picked up a bolt as I was flying away. I managed to keep the quality level, for the most part.
the Hypnomatic here. Once you've found all of its parts.
Oh, cool. Nice fishing.
Oh, man! It won't budge.
Violence is not the answer.
Can you move this rock, sir?
I am able.
And?
Patience, young one. For the rock to move, the forces of the universe must align.
So, can we make these forces align a little faster?
Ah, yes. The holistic resonance of moonstones may yet guide these wayward forces.
I'm gonna go collect all the moonstones from this realm. Got it. These also give bolts once you've collected all of them, I assume. This is the snow desert. Tiny robots. Take a while. Oh, cool. Infinite so long as this thing is out, I guess? Still got a ways to go. Can I target this thing? That makes sense, I guess. Oh yeah? Are they worth way more money than the, Are they worth way more money than the crystals in the desert? It's an unusual instant death thing. level 2. I really would like my little baby bots to land the kill on this thing, but come on, guys. I see. Oh, the mapper shows me where they all are. That's nice. Does that apply to the crystals I missed in the desert also?
Oh, yes. Your arrival with the Moonstones is most fortuitous, for it is in this very moment that I am able to move the rock.
Gee, what a coincidence.
Thank you, sir. That was most helpful.
Your gratitude is comforting, child. I have also found a piece of something called a Hypnomatic. You may have it in exchange for more Moonstones.
Wait, I thought you had no need for material possessions.
Please, do not lay your burdens upon me now. I am weary from lifting the rock, and I must rest.
Okay. Wait, I'm confused. I thought that the rest of the Moonstones were gated by doing that. Or can I just get to them, the wall somehow? Mineshaft gets me the other side. Restocked. Oh wow. First time I first tried one of those. I think I can partially damage these guys. Getting there, like 60% or something. And I'm out. Back to nuking everything to death. Armor vendor. Oh god. That looks cool. Do you want to farm? Hooray! Oh, it doesn't show his face in cutscenes? That's frustrating. There's like, he's so emotive in them. Surprised they don't do like a hide headgear thing. Getting there. Focusing these ones while I'm near an ammo restock because they seem like they take a long time. Lots of full sets of ammo. Hopefully that'll do it. Let's see. So every shot they fire isn't made equal. If you went around the map and reduced like 100 enemies to low health, maybe they'd level up a little bit faster. These guys are definitely a lot nastier than the sandworm things in the desert. They stagger you a lot too. This dash thing is an optional upgrade, isn't it? The Yetis attack faster than anything is supposed to? I missed that. It's interesting. Like you're getting overwhelmed too fast, basically, for what they wanted to do. Right. You don't have time to dodge. It's true. That extra money so I can start leveling some other stuff up. They're just up in the one bridge. They have too much health for sheeping to work? My guess, anyway. These bots have to be like insanely close to the level up by now. There they go. Slightly redder. So they just hit more often now, or they have more shots or something when they're upgraded? Thanks for the death warp, guys.
Hello? We've got more moonstones.
No, you have not.
What?
Existence is a lie. Sensations are illusions. Possessions are merely visions.
All right, I've got an illusion of some moonstones. I'll trade it for a vision of that hypnomatic part.
You have learned much, young one. Now bring me more moonstones.
It's really hard to force your voice to crack like that all the time.
Reward.
Hooray! I don't think that's enough for an upgrade though, so I need like 20,000 more. So we'll do this for a bit. Dream is to unlock every reasonable weapon and then just be able to play the game without XP. There's just a lot of things wrong with the Yetis. There doesn't need to be an infinite number of them. They don't need to hit so hard or so fast. Peace and quiet, jeez. It wasn't meant to last. Maybe I just want the one more weapon, we'll see. Build a multiplier for getting killed without taking damage. Wow, that's a really robust New Game Plus. I don't recall Spyro really having any New Game Plus type stuff. In fact, you would get like a really cool upgrade once you did everything that was useless in the main game. Which game has my favorite New Game Plus? Dark Souls 2 is pretty great. There's a lot of cool stuff with New Game Plus. The bonfire aesthetic is a really awesome idea. I wish they kept the bonfire aesthetic in the other games. Streaming doesn't like to work around this guy sometimes. Lost easily ice desert. Alright, hopefully that's enough money to get me... it will at least get me a gun. Let's see. 150. Is there any content in this game that, like, is balanced, assuming that you have all maxed out guns? Maybe the endless wave thing in the arena? Possible challenge is the hardest thing. I didn't realize that it was... Like, I kind of got the impression that once we got to the second arena, I was like, oh, there's gonna be more of these. But that's supposed to be, like, the hardest one, that particular challenge that I did. Angela, come back. Let's do the hypnomatic parts. Ultimate armor's like 1,000,000 bolts, though. There's no point in the impossible challenge where it potentially generates unlimited ammo, right? I was noticing that like the ammo drops would stop after you picked up a certain number. The hypnotist guy was the taxi ? Question mark? Wait, no, I was wrong. My bad. Rhino, you need to carry over from Ratchet Clank 1, I guess.
Use it wisely! Do not even think about it.
To use the Hypnomatic, target a receiver bot and press circle to take control of the robot.
I see. This is that robot that I kept killing. Carry over the Rhino. This was a Rhino 2. Nukes those guys. The Tundra Waste was where there was a thing that required the Hypnomatic, right? Gotcha. Oops.
This receiver bot has a blaster attack. Press circle to shoot enemies. To exit the robot, press triangle.
Oh, is it like a jump thing? You keep pressing circle? That's cool. It's okay. Frame rate, you can handle it. Good way to force you to understand that mechanic. You reset the timer whenever you do that, it looks like. Neat. Come on. There you go. Cool. Oh, we haven't gone swimming in a while. Underwater is the best. Can't freeze it, or I could freeze it, but it wouldn't do anything. That's a pretty cool gun. I wanted to pick it up for a while.
Hey, nice
Schmangela.
digs.
Yeah. It's a little remnant from my previous life.
You were reincarnated?
No. My Megacorp days. They've got a very generous bonus package.
Right. So now that you've got your ID badge, how do we take out the Protopet?
Watch this.
Mommy,
Where do Protopets come from?
Why, they come from Megacorp, dear.
That's right, Mrs. Robot. All of the Protopets in the galaxy come from right here, in our factory.
Totally not a
Your
bad guy
little
factory.
friend is lovingly extracted from the original Protopet. Each Protopet is given a name and birth certificate that is unique. Our training system helps mold your pet into a wonderful friend that you'll cherish forever. So the next time your child asks,
Mommy, where do Protopets come from?
you can answer with confidence. They come from Megacorp.
That factory is
How do you
using
like
the
the robot
original
civilians?
Protopet to produce all the others.
Exactly. If we can take out the original Protopet, that'll shut him down permanently.
Hey, Mothership theory.
20% off a complete service at Groovy Lube.
Oops. Wrong one. This will deactivate the door to the Protopet duplication area. I'll meet you there.
Sure you want to split up?
Well, Megacorp's orbital defenses are nasty. With 2 ships, there's a good chance at least one of us will get through.
Good thinking. Just be careful.
Right.
Cool. Oh, what? What? How? Confused at how this thing controls. This would be kind of cool if there weren't a million Yetis that I can't really fight. I see. No thanks, I'm good. That feels awful to use. How much money did I get? Not enough. Maybe the desert version is better because the enemies there aren't so frustrating. It's a cool initial camera angle. They don't do too much of that in this game. Is there a vendor near here? Here's one.
This receiver bot can hypnotize other robots. To hypnotize another
I needed to know that a while ago.
Then press circle.
This is a cool mechanic for getting around the level. But you can use it to teleport through walls and stuff. It's pretty neat. Sweet. Don't walk over the ledge. Do they have like a common ancestor in a different galaxy or something? Or is it just like Star Trek rules and she's the equivalent of a human with a ridged nose, inexpensive makeup? There is Lumbex. Happens to me more frequently than I'd like it to. Oh wow, I just got a checkpoint. Perfect time then. It's the dream where the little balls get caught under the tank. Oops. Oh, I see. I'm rolling out my extra lives. Gotcha. Right, let me kill myself then. Well. Cutting a little close. Just a hair. Imagine if you're an employee of Megacorp and you need to get in. You gotta go through some bullshit. Whoa, let's go. Is the giant empty desert where you farm bolts a staple of the series like the arenas are? After this one? Far from mistake. Hmm. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what's the purpose of the desert? Is it that they added too many guns for the bolts you get from normal play to let you buy most of the weapons, so they needed to have a place for you to, like, farm that didn't require a lot of dev effort? But then again, they could have just, like, changed the cost structure. Could have had everything cost less, or had the boxes drop more bolts or something. There must have been a reason for it. When do you grind them, shouldn't you? Good job, turrets. I'm very proud of you. Hey, first try. I'm just curious, like, what the intent is, because, like, a pretty big percentage of the bolts you would get in a normal playthrough come from the desert and the ice desert, right? And it's probably, like, the least interesting content in the game. Even the arenas are like, okay, there's this unique challenge that you're doing. So I assume they thought about that, like, okay, this represents, you know, 40% of the total bolts we expect players to get in a playthrough. 2.5 playthroughs, you get a Rhino legit. That's pretty crazy. Am I meant to be able to do something in this room right now? Yeah, obviously, I don't mind the idea of grinding. I've sunk almost 1,000 hours into old school RuneScape. But the desert stuff and the arena stuff just feels dissonant with the rest of the design philosophy. Had nice when I got in here, didn't I? Maybe this is like a shortcut that I opened up from the other side. Looks like it's a dead end. Really? Oh, I guess so. Wow, it really doesn't look like it. Thanks. I guess there aren't that many jumps in this game that require you to grab onto the ledge. Right, oops. Womp womp.
This is it, the Protopet duplication room.
This is a great cutscene with all those things bouncing around.
No problem. You're just in time. Okay, let's see if this thing works.
She is trying to tell us something.
Bye now. Enjoy the hygienator. Remember, you bought it from Steve. Steve McQuark. Indeed. Now that I've sold my 1 millionth hygienator, I can finance the comeback of the greatest superhero who ever lived, Captain Qwark! All I need now is a new galaxy with a new fan base so I can rescue them from a new disaster!
Oh, they've been building this up the whole time. It's pretty great.
Sir, I do not understand.
Mr. Fizzwidget?
Perfect.
This is bad.
It's been a great build.
All right.
Lots of plants.
What the is going on?
Oh, they actually got a hard K in there, too.
I'm about to save the galaxy from the Protopets, and you are about to become public enemy #1. Oh, and 2 and 3. Guards, seize them! Smile, it's showtime! Citizens of Boldan, I am Captain Qwark. I come to you in this, your darkest of hours, to shine the flashlight of justice on your galaxy.
Flashlight of justice?
As you know, a living menace called the Protopet has been set loose in your galaxy. But fear not, Bogonites. I, Captain Qwark, have caught the perpetrators. Yes, good citizens, these are the masterminds behind Megacorp's experiment with death. And now, with this, super electro gadget I invented, I will end the Protopet threat once and for all.
That's my Elixamorph. I invented...
Ahem. Stay tuned, dear viewers, as I amplify the signal from this helixo thingy and render every Protopet in the galaxy completely harmless.
So is the implication that Fizzwidget is the actual CEO of Megacorp and he infiltrated in the space of like a year? He like replaced him? Maybe the robot one is the real one? Nice. Oh, they just nope out.
Does that Helixamorph actually work?
It used to. I could probably fix it.
Come on, Clank. Let's get it back.
So everybody else here is a robot except for him. Whoops. Oh, it gave it to me. Thanks, game. How nice of you. Okay, Roger. Ow, apparently. A big old chunker. I didn't realize I was so low. I guess I've got enough ammo to restock. Somehow that radial health bar looks like I'm making more progress than the bottom health bar. It's okay, PS3, you can do it. No kidding. Worked.
You did it!
That was a real Fizzwidget.
This
Okay.
is the real Mr. Fizzwidget. Qwark had him tied up in a supply closet all this time.
Gentlemen, you have my most profound gratitude.
It was nothing, sir. I'm just sorry we couldn't get the hill.
Although I kind of like the idea of this like super nice guy being the CEO of an evil corporation. But it being Qwark is funny also.
Right. What do you suppose is wrong with it?
That was pretty great.
No, it could take months of research and...
The battery isn't backwards.
Oops. Imbecilic to the very last.
Nice.
Down, boy.
I just have to amplify the device with Megacorp's TV transponders, and that should cure the other Protopets.
Clank?
Talk normally.
It's okay. I can fix her. I promise.
Oh shit! I didn't realize it was the end. I thought the how long to beat was... Because there's a couple places earlier where I felt like we were going to the final level. Nice! Well, this game was really solid. I enjoyed it very much. So Ratchet 3 is still a PS2 game? Which numbered title is the first PS3 one? Five is a PS3 one. And which ones are considered like good? Because apparently it falls off eventually. Like people don't like the remake of the first one, right? Yeah. Final boss and just a sudden ending. Hey, I'll take it over being stuck on the final boss for an hour and a half. Jeez. Although as soon as I used the Tesla coil or whatever, in the first game, it was a wrap because he took like several orders of magnitude more damage per second, damage per ammo.
So,
Three is commonly
what
considered
do you
best.
like to do for fun? Oh, my goodness.
I like them not showing us.
So, whatever happened to Qwark?
I heard he was working at Megacorp.
3 and 6 are top 3.
So, you fellas new here? You boys should sign up for the new Protopet. That little baby cleans you something fierce. I just got done testing the full body vaccinator. I am personally sporting a smooth chassis, and there are no tags on my luggage. All right then. Catch you later.
Subject 23A, please report immediately for Crotchetizer testing.
Well, duty calls.
He's rolling with it. It's a fun little mid-credit stinger. Oh sure, just like, but they could have like had a silly image on the screen. I like the innuendo. Hey kitties. Did you guys knock the webcam down again? You did. I'll show you the kitties sitting here being pathetic and begging. Ben's gargoyling on top of the gaming machine. And Marty's gargoyling on the edge of the kitchen. They're both starving to death. Spin-offs are bad. Jim Ward. Oh, Steve Bloom, yeah. He's in everything too. I missed it. Who did the voice of the hippie guy? I recognize the voice. Oh, they said the engine's based on something Naughty Dog put together? So they're a separate company, but they like license something from them, like an Unreal Engine type situation. And Angela was never seen again. Size matters. Here, Agent Clank. All for one full frontal assault of the side games. No sheep were harmed in the making of this game for the most part. The one that was had it coming.
All right, fellas, nice and tight now. So
Nice.
you tested this, right? Oh, wait, that's why I'm here. Oh, one more thing.
You have the choice to go back in time before you defeated Qwark or play a new game in challenge mode. Challenge mode's a good way to earn. It would have been cool if the boss fight had a Qwark phase and a big Protopet phase. To play your weapons, you can upgrade further by purchasing mega upgrades at the vendor. Guess I'll turn on challenge mode.
Welcome back to Behind the Hero. Tonight's heroes are the duo who recently restored peace and order to our galaxy.
Hey kitties, can I help you?
Ratchet reporting. I'm on.
Okay, so like, the way this works is it's the base game, but I was stuck for a while when we first started playing with that elevator. Mainline 4 spinoff, okay. So the spinoffs still feature Ratchet and Clank. Is they just have different developers or something? Like, what makes them different? Okay, I see the little, it says the bolts multiplier in the corner. And that's how you can afford the really insane upgrades. And I have new meters for my maxed out guns also. I'm not gonna play very far here, I'm just curious. Buy the upgraded versions to get new meters, I see. So what's the max multiplier you can get to? Multiplier increases you kill enemies will reset to 1 if you get hit. The higher the multiplier, the more must be killed. Oh, okay. Answered my question. I kind of wish that that was the mechanic. Or maybe have that along with the desert. In the base game. Right, and then like the desert is if you can't go that far without getting hit. Especially with the extra health that you get in this game, I feel like later on it feels pretty productive to just kind of tank hits, which I think is less fun than trying to avoid them and kill things from a distance. It's in like the regular New Game, not just New Game Plus going forward. The game hurt me. It makes me wonder if it was originally in the base game. The fact that it had a little tutorial pop up that's unique to New Game Plus is kind of interesting to me. Yeah, I think that would solve a lot of my issues with the game. If you connect your income to the player's skill and then allow the player to make up for lack of skill by giving them some sort of grinding option, I find that to be much better. Okay, well, I'm excited to see that in the future Ratchet and Clank games. I'm glad they included that. The save. Not that it'll ever matter, but just in case. We did have someone, Propagable put Okami on her subblock like 3 years after we beat it to do a random side quest, so I do try to hold on to these saves wherever possible. Awesome. I enjoyed Ratchet and Clank 2. It's a good game. I think that I have some philosophical complaints about ammo and consumables and the way the games handle grinding, but this game is like, you know, on a completely different level from the first one. It's better in every conceivable way, and I assume the series just continues to get better. Given that this is 2003, if I judge it for 2003, it's incredibly good. You know, you think about what were the game's peers at the time. I don't think anybody was doing it that well. But I really like Spyro, their previous game, because in Spyro, like, the pickups are a unit of exploration. You know, there's only so many gems in the game, and you have to find all of them to do all the special things. So I think I like gems a little bit better than bolts, which you can try to find the most efficient place to farm and just do that content, right? Like, with Spyro, sure, maybe this enemy drops a ton of gems, but he only drops them once, and he doesn't drop them repeatedly. So, yeah, I'm excited to play Jak and Daxter as well, and Sly Cooper eventually. They're all games that I just completely missed. Yeah, Spyro is a very satisfying completionist series. I totally agree about that. Exploration versus combat and linear traversal. It's true. I think you could make Spyro, or I think you could make Ratchet and Clank like the same basic mechanics and the combat focus, and use the gem system instead of the bolt system. But I don't know. I'm interested to see how else they iterate on it later on.